The elevator doors reflected a ghost. Charcoal suit, tight bun, makeup so minimal it might as well be absent. Alina Sterling had perfected the art of disappearing in plain sight. 6:15 in the morning. 4 years of the same ritual. The executive kitchen hummed as coffee brewed. She adjusted the thermostat to exactly 70 degrees. Documents arranged by priority on the mahogany desk. Everything Benjamin Drake needed before he knew he needed it. He arrived at 8 sharp, presence filling the space like expensive cologne and authority. Morning. He never waited for responses. Never looked at her. Just strode past like she was part of the furniture. Alina's fingers flew across the keyboard. Calendar managed. Crises solved. His coffee replaced before it cooled. The quarterly reports materialized on his desk before he finished his request. Invisible. Essential. Forgotten. You need to get a life. Natalie dropped into the breakroom chair, stealing a carrot stick. Working 16-hour days for a man who doesn't know you exist is not living. I have a life. When was the last time you went on a date? The silence stretched too long. My friend Owen is a photographer. Charming. Available. Friday night. Say yes before you overthink it. I have too much work. Benjamin Drake will survive without you for one evening. Natalie's eyes softened. Say yes, Alina. Remember you're human, not equipment. The word escaped before Alina could stop it. Fine. Friday arrived like a storm. In the bathroom at 11:45, Alina shed the gray suit like dead skin. The sapphire dress hugged curves she'd forgotten she had. Hair fell in blonde waves past her shoulders. Makeup brought color to cheeks that had been pale for years. The woman in the mirror was a stranger. Vibrant. Alive. Visible. Her heels clicked against marble as she walked toward the elevators. Coworkers turned, recognition dawning slowly on their faces. She pressed the button. Checked her phone. Behind her, Benjamin Drake stepped out of his office, looking for a file. His eyes found her desk. Empty. His gaze swept the office and landed on the woman in blue. His brain stuttered. Stopped. Restarted. Alina. That was Alina. The elevator doors opened. She stepped inside. Benjamin couldn't breathe. His heart hammered against his ribs, foreign and violent. 4 years. 4 years and he'd never seen her. Really seen her. The doors closed. He stood frozen, a strange ache twisting in his chest. When had his assistant become a woman he couldn't look away from? Benjamin stared at his computer screen, seeing nothing. Where was she? Who was she meeting? The questions clawed at him for hours. At 3:30, Alina reappeared. Gray suit. Tight bun. The mask back in place. But Benjamin saw through it now. The elegant neck. The graceful movements. 4 years of blindness shattered in a single elevator ride. Alina. His voice came out rougher than intended. She appeared in his doorway, composed and professional. Yes, Mr. Drake? The Henderson file. I need your thoughts on it. Surprise flickered across her face. He'd never asked for her thoughts before. When would you like to discuss it? Now. She sat across from him, and for 30 minutes, Benjamin discovered the mind behind the efficiency. Sharp insights. Angles he hadn't considered. Business acumen he'd ignored for 4 years. How had he been so blind? Over the next week, Benjamin found excuses. The Morgan contract. The Seattle expansion. The investor meeting prep. Each conversation revealed layers he'd never noticed. Intelligence. Wit. A quiet strength that had been holding his empire together while he took credit for the architecture. "You're acting weird," Natalie told Alina on Wednesday. "He's never called you into his office this much. He's just utilizing resources more efficiently. He's looking at you differently. Trust me. I've seen that look before." Alina's heart did something dangerous. Something stupid. "You're imagining things." But Friday came again, and Owen texted. "Second date? That place on Fifth Avenue you mentioned?" She said yes, even as something in her chest protested. This time, she changed in the bathroom at 6. Emerald dress. Hair down. Red lipstick that felt like war paint. Benjamin saw her leave. He watched from his office window as she met a man on the street. Tall. Stylish. The man pulled her into a hug that lasted too long. Laughed at something she said. Touched her arm with casual familiarity. The glass in Benjamin's hand cracked. Whiskey bled between his fingers. He'd waited too long. Moved too slow. She was slipping away to someone who'd seen her first. Monday morning, 6:15. Alina arrived to find Benjamin already there, tie loosened, exhaustion carved into his face. "Did you sleep here?" The Tokyo deal needed attention. His eyes met hers, and something in them made her breath catch. "How was your weekend?" "Fine." The photographer. "Is it serious?" Her heart stuttered. "I don't think that's appropriate to discuss. For years you've known everything about my life. Every meeting. Every call. Every personal detail I've shared without thinking." He stood, moving around the desk. "Don't I get to know anything about yours?" "Mr. Drake." "Benjamin." "My name is Benjamin." They stood too close. His cologne wrapped around her, cedar and something darker. Her pulse thundered. "This can't happen," she whispered. "What can't happen?" "Whatever you think you're feeling. It's just novelty. You finally noticed I exist, and your ego can't handle that someone else saw me first." His jaw tightened. "You think this is ego? What else would it be?" "Maybe I'm terrified." The words came out raw. "Maybe I realized the most important person in my life was about to walk away, and I never even learned her favorite color." "Sapphire," she breathed. "It's sapphire." He reached out, fingers brushing her cheek. "Alina." The office door opened. Victoria Chen, Benjamin's ex-fiancée and current board member, stood in the doorway. Her smile was poison wrapped in silk. "Benjamin, darling. We need to talk about the merger." Her eyes slid to Alina, dismissive and cruel. "Alone." Benjamin's hand dropped. Alina stepped back, the spell broken. "I'll be at my desk." As she walked away, Victoria's voice carried through the open door. "Still playing with the help? How predictable." The merger consumed everything. Benjamin spent hours in closed-door meetings with Victoria and the board. Alina watched through glass walls as Victoria touched his arm, leaned close, laughed at things that weren't funny. "She wants him back," Natalie observed, appearing at Alina's desk with coffee. "The merger is just an excuse. It's none of my business. You're in love with him." The words hung in the air, undeniable and terrifying. "It doesn't matter," Alina finally said. "He's Benjamin Drake. I'm the woman who organizes his files. You're the woman who runs his entire life. There's a difference." That night, Alina stayed late finishing reports. The office emptied. At 9, Benjamin emerged from his office, tie gone, hair disheveled. "You're still here. So are you." He moved to her desk, exhaustion softening the hard edges of his face. "Victoria wants to announce our re-engagement at the merger gala. Says it'll reassure investors about stability." The words hit like a physical blow. I see. I told her no. Alina's eyes snapped up. Why? Because I don't love her. I never did. The engagement was strategic. He leaned against her desk. I built an empire, Alina. I have everything. And I just realized I'm empty. Benjamin. For years. For years you've been the only real thing in my life, and I was too arrogant to see it. His hand covered hers. Tell me I'm not too late. Her phone buzzed. Owen's name flashed on the screen. Are you happy with him? Benjamin's voice was rough. I barely know him. That's not an answer. I don't know what happiness looks like anymore. She pulled her hand away. I've spent 4 years making sure you had everything you needed. Coffee at the right temperature. Documents in the right order. Your entire life perfect and precise. When did I stop mattering? When did I become just machinery? You were never just machinery. Then what was I? Necessary. Essential. The only thing that made sense. He cupped her face, forcing her to look at him. I'm sorry. God, I'm sorry I didn't see you. But I see you now. Please tell me that's enough. The kiss happened like lightning. Fierce and desperate. 4 years of invisible wanting compressed into a single moment. His hands in her hair. Her fingers gripping his shirt. The desk hard against her back. He pulled away first, breathing ragged. Come with me to the gala. Not as my assistant. As my date. The whole company will talk. Let them talk. Victoria will destroy me. I won't let her. Alina searched his face, looking for lies, finding only raw need. Okay. The gala was crystal chandeliers and champagne, designer gowns and whispered gossip. Alina wore midnight blue, hair swept up, diamonds at her throat that Benjamin had sent to her apartment that morning. You're stunning, he murmured as they entered. Every eye turned. Every mouth whispered. Victoria watched from across the ballroom, fury barely concealed behind her smile. Benjamin kept Alina close, his hand at the small of her back. Proprietary. Protective. They danced, and the world faded to just the two of them. I could get used to this, she whispered against his shoulder. Then get used to it. I'm not letting you go. At midnight, Alina excused herself to the restroom. The hallway was quiet, marble floors reflecting soft light. She was checking her makeup when the door opened. Victoria stood there, perfect and poisonous. You really think he cares about you? Victoria's laugh was surgical. You're a novelty. A project. He's bored with his usual type. So he's slumming with the help. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I? Victoria pulled out her phone. Funny thing. I had lunch with Owen last week. The photographer? Turns out we have mutual friends. Dread coiled in Alina's stomach. What did you do? I simply suggested he might want to know that his girlfriend was sleeping with her boss. That you've been using him as a cover while you climb the corporate ladder on your back. That's not true. Doesn't matter what's true. Matters what he believes. Victoria's smile sharpened. He's outside right now. Waiting to talk to you. I'd hurry. He looked quite upset. Alina rushed past her, heart hammering. In the lobby, Owen stood by the entrance, face cold. Owen, I can explain. Can you? Because Victoria showed me quite the evidence. Texts between you and Benjamin. Photos from inside his office. Late nights together. We never. Save it. His voice was ice. I actually liked you, Alina. I thought you were different. Turns out you're just another woman using men as stepping stones. He walked out. Alina stood frozen, humiliation burning through her. Behind her, Victoria's laughter echoed down the hallway. When she turned back to the ballroom, she saw Benjamin talking with board members, Victoria at his side, touching his arm, whispering in his ear. He smiled at something she said. And Alina realized Victoria had won. Because no matter what Benjamin felt, his empire came first. It always had. It always would. She walked to the coat check, grabbed her things, and left through the side exit. She didn't look back. Monday morning. Alina's desk sat empty at 6:15. For the first time in 4 years, the office was dark when Benjamin arrived at 8. His coffee was cold. The documents were missing. The thermostat was wrong. Everything was wrong. "Where's Alina?" he demanded when Natalie passed his office. "She called in sick." Natalie's voice was ice. "Or did you not notice she left the gala in tears?" Benjamin's blood went cold. "What? You were too busy with Victoria to see her walk out." Again. He called Alina 17 times. Each one went to voicemail. He texted. Waited. Nothing. At noon, he drove to her apartment. She answered the door in sweatpants and a worn t-shirt, eyes red but dry. "You need to leave." "Not until you tell me what happened." Victoria happened. Owen happened. Reality happened. She started to close the door. "I'm done being invisible and I'm done being your distraction. I quit." Benjamin wedged his foot in the door. "You don't mean that." "Don't I? For years, Benjamin. For years I organized your life, anticipated your needs, made you look good. And what did I get? To be called the help and humiliated at a gala while you smiled at your ex-fiancée." I wasn't smiling at her. She was discussing merger terms. "It's always business with you." Alina's voice broke. "Everything is calculated. Everything is strategic. Even this. Even us. That's not fair." "Fair? You want to talk about fair?" She yanked the door open. "Come in. Let me show you something." Her apartment was small but immaculate. She led him to a drawer, pulled out a folder. Inside were job offers. Senior positions at rival companies. 3 different opportunities, all offering double her current salary. "I turned these down," she said. "All of them." "You want to know why?" "Because I was stupid enough to believe that loyalty mattered. That someday you'd see me as more than efficient machinery." Benjamin stared at the offers. All dated within the last 2 years. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Why would I? You never asked about my ambitions. My dreams. What I wanted beyond making your coffee exactly right." The accusation cut deep because it was true. "If you quit," he said slowly, "Victoria wins. The merger fails. The board revolts. Everything I've built collapses. And there it is." Alina laughed, bitter and broken. "It's still about the empire. I'm still just a piece on your chessboard." "That's not what I meant. Get out. Alina. Get out." He left. That night, Benjamin sat in his empty office, staring at Alina's vacant desk. He picked up his phone. Dialed. "Victoria. I'll announce the engagement." On the other end, Victoria's triumph was audible. "Smart choice, Benjamin. I'll prepare the press release. One condition. You leave Alina alone. No more games. No more sabotage. Of course, darling. She's already gone anyway." He hung up, the weight of sacrifice crushing his chest. The press release went out Tuesday morning. Benjamin Drake and Victoria Chen to wed following successful merger. Power couple reunites. Alina saw it on her phone. Expected it. Still felt the knife twist. Wednesday, a courier arrived at her door. Inside the envelope, a severance check for $2 million. A glowing recommendation letter. And a handwritten note. You were never invisible. I was just blind. The job offers in that drawer? Take the one in Seattle. Fresh start. Away from all this. Away from me. You deserve better than a man who realizes what he has only after he's lost it. Thank you for 4 years of making my life work. I'm sorry I never made yours better. B. Beneath the note, another envelope. Inside, the deed to a brownstone in Capitol Hill. Paid in full. Alina's hands shook. This wasn't strategy. This was Benjamin cutting out his own heart and handing it to her. Destroying his own happiness to ensure hers. The sacrifice of a man who'd finally learned to see. She grabbed her keys. The office was dark except for one light. Benjamin sat at his desk, head in his hands, the picture of defeat. Alina walked in without knocking. He looked up, shock and hope warring on his face. What are you doing here? Taking back my life. Starting with this. She threw the envelope on his desk. I don't want your money. I don't want your guilt. I want the truth. What truth? Do you love me? Not the idea of me. Not the guilt of ignoring me. Me. Alina. The woman who knows you take your coffee black, who fixes your mistakes, who saw you build an empire while losing yourself. She leaned on the desk, forcing him to meet her eyes. Do you love me? The silence stretched like wire. Yes. The word came out broken. God help me, yes. But it doesn't matter. Victoria has the board. If I don't marry her, the merger fails, and 6,000 people lose their jobs. I can't be selfish. Not when that many livelihoods are at stake. You're right. You can't. Alina straightened. But I can be. I can be selfish enough for both of us. She pulled out her phone. Opened her email. Showed him the screen. What is this? Proof. Victoria's been embezzling from the merger funds. Small amounts. Untraceable unless you know what to look for. Alina's smile was sharp. I know what to look for. I've been watching the accounts for 3 weeks. Benjamin's eyes widened. How? I'm not just good at making coffee, Benjamin. I'm good at everything you never bothered to notice. She forwarded the email to him. Send this to the board. Watch Victoria's empire crumble instead of yours. Why are you doing this? Because you made a sacrifice for me. Now I'm making one for you. She turned to leave. The difference is, mine actually solves the problem. Alina, wait. He caught her hand. If I do this, if I destroy Victoria and save the merger, what happens to us? She looked at him, this powerful man who'd finally learned vulnerability. That depends. Are you going to keep seeing me? Really seeing me? Every day for the rest of my life. If you'll let me. Then I guess we'll figure it out. She squeezed his hand. Together. As equals. As equals, he repeated. Starting with this, will you be my partner? Not assistant. Partner. Full equity. Your name on the letterhead. Benjamin. I mean it. You've earned it. For years of holding this place together while I took credit. That ends now. Outside, dawn broke over the city. Inside, 2 people who'd been invisible to each other finally saw clearly. But victory has a price. And Victoria Chen wasn't done playing games. The board meeting was an execution disguised as business. Benjamin presented the evidence, and Victoria's perfect mask cracked. embezzlement, fraud, breach of fiduciary duty. The merger continued. Victoria was arrested in the lobby, heels clicking against marble one last time. But as security led her away, she turned to Alina. "You think you've won? Check your birth certificate, sweetheart. Check the name of the company that owns Drake Enterprises' original patent." The words were poison darts, seemingly random. But Benjamin's face went white. "What is she talking about?" Alina demanded. Benjamin's office. Door closed. The city sparkled below, indifferent to the bombs about to drop. "Tell me." Alina's voice was steel. 20 years ago, my company was failing. I needed capital. A silent investor approached me. Sterling Capital. He couldn't look at her. "Your father's company." The floor tilted. "What? I didn't know you were his daughter." "Not until 3 weeks ago when I finally looked at your full file. By then, I was already in love with you." "My father." The pieces fell into place like shattered glass. "My father who died 5 years ago. Who left me nothing because I refused to join the family business." "That father?" "He owned 30% of Drake Enterprises. When he died, those shares went to a trust." Benjamin's voice was hollow. "A trust that names you as beneficiary when you turn 30. Which is next month." Alina sat down hard. "I'm your second largest shareholder and I didn't even know it. The lawyers kept it quiet per your father's instructions. He wanted you to earn your place, not inherit it. So he set conditions. You had to work in the company for 5 years without knowing about the shares." 5 years. Her laugh was broken. "I've been here 4. If we'd gotten together before your 30th birthday, before you claimed those shares, people would say I seduced you for control. That I manipulated you to ensure shareholder loyalty." He finally met her eyes. "They'd say you were just a strategic acquisition. Is that what I am?" "No. God, no. But can you prove it?" "Can I prove it?" He moved to the window. "This is why I never noticed you, Alina. Why I kept you invisible. Your father asked me to. He wanted you to find your own strength, your own power, without the weight of his legacy crushing you. So everything. The invisibility. The years of being ignored. That was mercy?" Her voice shook with rage and grief. "My father controlled my life even from the grave, and you helped him." "Yes." The honesty was brutal. "Get out. Alina. You have 24 hours to decide. Either buy out my shares at market value, or I claim them and we figure out how to be business partners who can barely look at each other." She stood, spine straight, every inch her father's daughter. "But we're done. Whatever this was, it's over. I love you. You love a woman you helped keep in a cage." She walked to the door. "That's not love, Benjamin. That's guilt." He let her go. Because she was right. 3 weeks later, Alina sat in the lawyer's office, signing papers. 30% of Drake Enterprises. Billions in assets. The power her father had wanted her to claim on her own terms. The door opened. Benjamin walked in. "I'm not buying you out." Her pen stilled. "Excuse me? You earned those shares. More than that, you earned your place at the table." He sat across from her. "I talked to your father's lawyer. Read his letters. He knew you'd end up at Drake Enterprises because he knew you were brilliant. He wanted you to discover that brilliance without his shadow looming over you. That doesn't excuse. Nothing excuses it. I kept you invisible because he asked me to, yes. But I also kept you there because I was a coward." Benjamin leaned forward. "I saw you, Alina. Not just that day in the elevator. I saw you every day for 4 years, and I ignored it because acknowledging you meant acknowledging that you were better than me. Smarter. More essential. The real power behind the empire. Stop. You terrified me. So I diminished you. Made you invisible so I could pretend I didn't need you. His voice cracked. Your father's request was just an excuse. The truth is worse. I kept you small because I was afraid of how big you could be. The words hung between them, raw and honest and unforgivable. I'm taking the shares, Alina said quietly. I'm claiming my place. And I'm going to be the best damn partner Drake Enterprises ever had. I know you will. But I need time. To figure out who I am when I'm not invisible. When I'm not machinery. When I'm not trying to earn love from men who are too broken to give it. Benjamin nodded, standing. Take all the time you need. I'll be here. Doing the work. Becoming the man who deserves a woman like you. And if you never become that man, then I'll spend the rest of my life trying. Because you were right. You deserve better. And I'm going to become it or die trying. He left. 6 months later, Drake Sterling Enterprises announced a revolutionary new AI platform. Co-developed by partners Benjamin Drake and Alina Sterling. Equal billing. Equal credit. Equal power. The press conference was packed. Alina stood at the podium in sapphire blue, confidence radiating from every pore. Benjamin stood beside her, pride clear on his face. After, in the quiet of the office they now shared, he handed her an envelope. What's this? Open it. Inside, a check for 4 years of back pay. Calculated at partner rates. Millions. Benjamin. You were never just an assistant. This is what you should have been paid from the start. She looked at him, this man who'd been blind and was learning to see. I can't accept this. Then donate it. Invest it. Burn it. But know that I see you, Alina. Finally. Fully. And I'll spend every day proving it. Every day. Starting with coffee. I learned how you take it. 2 sugars, oat milk, cinnamon on top. He handed her a cup. See? I pay attention now. She sipped. It was perfect. This doesn't fix everything. I know. We might not work. As partners. As anything more. I know that too. But I'm willing to try. If you are. He smiled, and it was real. Vulnerable. Human. I've been trying since the moment you walked away. I'll keep trying until you believe it. She set down the coffee. Took his hand. Then let's try together. As equals. As equals, he repeated. Outside, the city hummed with possibility. Inside, 2 people who'd been invisible to each other stood in the light, finally seen, finally whole, finally ready to build something real. Not perfect. Not easy. But real. And sometimes, that's enough. The end.